This is not a kid-friendly show.
Hey yo, what the dealio? So what is really good, my dudes? Now today is December 12th, 2016, and we got another RuneScape update for you. Now today, we see the release of Silver Jewellery. Now as you would expect, this uses up silver bars and makes use of the Opal, Jade, and Red Topaz gems. Now this is a members only edition and requires crafting levels of up to 45 and magic levels up to 49. Now once you craft them, you can enchant them with the level 1 through 3 enchantment spells based on their relative gem tier. Now let's get right into what each new jewelry piece does. Starting off with Opal, we have the Ring of Metamorphosis. This gives you a chance to double XP when catching butterflies barehanded. Lasts for 10 charges. The Headhunter's Sacrifice, which is a bracelet, has a chance for on assignment Slayer kills to count as double for no additional XP. Has 25 charges. Feather-fingered necklace has a chance to take no damage and avoid stun when caught thieving, 10 charges. And the Amulet of Bountiful Harvest has a chance to conserve seeds when planting in an allotment. For the Jade jewelry, we have the Ring of Respawn. It teleports you to unlocked spawn points and has 5 charges. The Flame Tier bracelet instantly builds a single temple wall in Shades of Morton and has 2 charges. The Traveler's necklace teleports to the Wizard's Tower, the outpost north of Ardoyne or south of Eagle's Eyrie, and has 5 charges. The Botanist Amulet has a chance to create higher doses potions and has 5 charges. Moving on to the Red Topaz, the Columbarium Ring has an increased chance to receive the Sun Spear effect when killing Virewatch. A charge will always be expended per kill whether or not the effect occurs and has 50 charges. Headhunter's Thrill, which is a bracelet, has a chance for Slayer kills to not reduce the assignment count but still award the experience. The Necklace of Gluttony allows it so food eaten gives 100 life points extra and has 20 charges. The Enlightened Amulet teleports to the Nexus, the Desert Bandit camp, or south of the Graveyard of Shadows. So we got some really interesting niche stuff there to get your hands on, so go check it out if they interest you. Anyways, let's move on to this week's patch notes. Now this week's collection of patches amounts to what can scientifically be called a fuck ton. But no, seriously, there is a lot to cover, so have a seat and let's get on with it. Now first up, I want to talk about the patches that Mod Shawnee revealed last Friday. Then once those are over, we'll go into any additional ones I feel worthy of mentioning. So with that being said, let's get started. First on the list, we got some general improvements. So the Amulet of the Forsaken can now be repaired into the new version, allowing it to be traded again. Renting or purchasing the Wealth Evaluator will no longer disable keybinds. You can now travel to the Uncharted Isles from the Quartermaster in Port Sarum if you have previously visited at least one Uncharted Isle. Most water barrels in the Ark now function as water sources. Mr. X has created a notice board to commemorate some legends of the Iron Man community. Impressing the locals mini quest is now a novice difficulty quest, awarding 1 quest point. Those who have completed the mini quest do not need to complete it again. The @JagXClock Twitter account will now tweet out boss rotations and D&D weeklies and monthly resets. You can no longer apply a weaker anti-poison effect if a stronger effect is already active. Next up, a couple skilling updates. Silverhawk boots can now be recharged while wearing them. Tipping bolts will now give you a chance to receive the fletching pet. Making Ascension ammo will now give you a chance of activating your Silverhawks or skilling backpack, and players can now enter Gothixian caches after already completing one for that day. Moving on to some combat updates. Purchasing the player-owned port's boots and glove scrolls from Bonnie no longer require 85 defense, but the defense requirement is still in place for wearing those items. Saradomin brews now all show the amount of heal visible on mouse over. They've altered the Rot's entry mechanic to allow for less than 4 players. Instance creation remains unchanged. You still need a barrel's totem. Simply standing on any of the platforms with that many players will let you begin. Animation timings for placing and checking turtle traps has been shortened slightly, so hunting turtles should now feel close to box trapping. And Stomp from Dungeoneering will now always drop 2 crystals. Moving on, we got some graphical improvements. White Knights with outdated white plate armor have now been graphically updated. White Knight partisans in Falador Castle have now been updated to wear red trimmed armor instead of Initiate blue. A guard north of Falador, south of the Grimtails Tower, has been graphically updated. The Falador guards Billy and Bob, who appear in a cutscene during Garden of Tranquility, have been graphically updated. Augmented Superior Morgan's javelins and thrown axes may now be disassembled before they've completely run out of charge. And finally, we got some bug fixes. A typo during the Virago waterfall phase has been fixed. The portable Fletcher bonus now functions correctly when tipping bolts. A gnome hut at Twilight Colony no longer self-identifies as a lamp. That's pretty funny. Using the ancient hymnal on the Falador Castle altar now checks for all ranks and genders of White Knight. A fix has been put in place as an attempt to fix a Raxor's delayed animation on Path 3 when charging at the player. They fixed an issue with the Heart's Instance message, and you no longer float on certain tiles in Port Sarim. With that out of the way, let's move on to some more patch notes. Now there's a shit ton of graphical updates, and being the nature of graphical updates, I'm not really going to get into all of them, and since there's so many, the link in the description will be down below. If you happen to really care about exactly what's been fixed, you can check it out for yourself there. But moving on, slimy eels now give the correct XP when caught. Agility shortcut in Port Phasmatis is now shown on the world map. An issue with a hint arrow pointing in the wrong direction for the stealing creation minigame been fixed. Gatherer's rings inside Dungeoneering now once again work with fishing and farming. And an issue where stoves in Varrock Palace kitchen were not allowing food to be cooked has been fixed. They fixed an issue with the Heart's instant message. Access to the empty throne room has been added to all relevant skill guides, and evergreen trees on the White Wolf Mountain now correctly give sap. A gargoyle trapped behind some rocks in the West Wilderness ruins has been rescued. A typo in a master camouflage outfit teleport interface has been fixed. Scopulus's hunting range has been increased. Araxi's web now correctly reflects damage after using insta-kill dart. Dragon Mace special attack now increases the special attack's accuracy by 25%, and it also deals between 100 and 300% damage correctly. Once the last pedestal has been clicked on the QBD encounter, players will no longer be affected by time stop. Players are no longer able to walk into the cart on Twilight. You can now teleport to the Ark Islands for using Grand Tree seed pods without complaints that you're underground. Picking up noted and unnoted items will no longer add a duplicate entry for the same item in Rune Magic's loot window. A typo in a Neem Forest dead monk has been fixed. A nothing interesting happens message that appears incorrectly when you use empty buckets on a sandpit in Yanil has been removed. Dialogue boxes no longer instantly close if an ability is active after killing Snothead in Land of the Goblins. Held familiar scrolls are no longer lootable by Iron Men when an enemy is killed. Follower pets will no longer show food bonuses in the pet interface, as only legendary pets can eat food. An issue where the warning message has blocked by target information when fighting Gelatinous Abomination without spiked gauntlets. The White Tree Shoot now has a left click water option. An issue with the take all option on loot and reward crates has been fixed. Some leftover Halloween decorations has been removed and auctioned off at the GE. Grigorvik's blade juggle attack no longer has a chance to deal damage when it shouldn't be able to. An issue where opening a chest in Treasure Hunter could cause the multiplier timer to keep resetting in God Wars 2 has been fixed. Light creature familiar options will no longer reappear after completing a lap of the Heffin Agility course if you have high familiar options ticked. Buying a Revenant drop enhancer from Deathmatch Reward Shop with a full inventory will no longer charge you Deathmatch points. And the correct Revenant pet will now appear when overriding a familiar. Again, the link to the game update and the patch notes will be down in the description below for you to check out for yourself. There's a lot to go over, even more than what I've covered in this video, so if you really want to know about it, check it for yourself down in the description. But yeah, if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you like me and you're not subscribed yet, I got news about RuneScape every single day, so you do not want to miss out on that shit. Trust me, dog, you do not want to miss out on that shit. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.